King Arthur is one of the most legendary, if not the most legendary king of medieval Britain. Yet, if you go through various historical texts, Arthur had different roles and titles. He wasn't always a king. In the Historia Brittonum, written by 9th century Welsh writer Nennius, Arthur was described as the military commander who fought against the invading Saxon army. In other legends, he is depicted as a Roman general sent to Britain to defend it against barbarian armies. Some texts describe him as Dux Bellorum. This Latin term translates to war leader or commander-in-chief. So, was King Arthur a real person? Or was he more of a legendary figure symbolizing a bygone era of chivalry and heroism rather than an actual historical person? My first full introduction to King Arthur was from the popular Merlin series, and I am sure it is the same for many people in my generation. I was a big fan of the series and had the biggest crush on the actress who played Guinevere. The Arthur we see in the Merlin series is the most popular version of the legend and is very similar to how Geoffrey of Monmouth describes King Arthur in Historia Regum Britannia. The Historia Regum Britannia was written in the 12th century. It is a Latin historical work that translates to History of the Kings of Britain. The text played a significant role in popularizing the Arthurian tales and shaped the legend as we know it today. Geoffrey's work introduced several key elements to the legend. First, he presented Arthur as a legendary king. He portrayed him as a powerful and heroic king who defended Britain. Geoffrey also introduced the character of Merlin. He described Merlin as a wise sorcerer and advisor to Arthur who possessed magical powers and helped Arthur's destiny. Geoffrey also attributed Arthur's birth to Uther Pendragon. This added a new layer of intrigue and royal lineage to the narrative. What made Geoffrey's work very memorable and popular with readers is that he masterfully blended history and folklore. While his work was not entirely accurate from a historical standpoint, it created a compelling narrative that combined mythical elements with historical references. This helped blur the lines between fiction and reality. Geoffrey's work was very popular and was translated into French. And to nobody's surprise, it led to French romances which eventually became the cornerstone of Arthurian literature in the 12th and 13th centuries. It inspired Quentin de Troyes, a French poet who could be referred to as the father of Arthurian romance. Quentin de Troyes wrote several Arthurian romances, epic poems that revolve around the mythical King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table. One of his most notable works is Lancelot or the Knights of the Cat. This romance focuses on the love affair between Lancelot and Queen Guinevere. Some historians consider this as one of the greatest love stories of medieval literature. The story revolves around the heroic knight Lancelot and his quest to rescue Queen Guinevere, who was abducted by the villainous Meleagants. In the poem, Lancelot disregards his reputation and honor to save Guinevere. He embarks on a perilous journey and chose to travel in a humble cart rather than on a horse like a noble knight. This act of selflessness and devotion highlights Lancelot's unwavering love for Guinevere. Throughout his quest, Lancelot faces numerous challenges, including battling other knights, braving treacherous landscapes, and enduring hardships. He overcomes these obstacles with great courage and determination, proving his worth as a true knight. Ultimately, Lancelot successfully rescues Guinevere. In one of the stories, Guinevere even consummates her love affair with Lancelot, although Guinevere later returns to Arthur from Lancelot's castle and is forgiven. During the Middle Ages, the history of kings of Britain became widely read and respected. It became an influential text in the courts of Europe, spreading the popularity of the Arthurian tales among the nobility and inspiring artists, poets, and writers. One notable writer who drew inspiration from Historia Regum Britannia is Sir Thomas Malory. La Morte d'Arthur, or The Death of Arthur, is an epic compilation of Arthurian legends written by Sir Thomas Malory in the 15th century. It is considered one of the most significant works of English literature. The book follows the life and adventures of King Arthur from his early days as a young knight to his eventual downfall and the dissolution of the Round Table. La Morte d'Arthur introduces us to the noble and virtuous King Arthur, his beloved Queen Guinevere, the valiant Sir Lancelot, the loyal Sir Gawain, the wise Merlin, and many other iconic figures. The narrative covers a wide range of events and quests, such as the search for the Holy Grail, the conflicts with rival knights and kingdoms, and the tragic love triangle between Arthur, Guinevere, and Lancelot. It is in this story that we learn of Arthur's treacherous nephew, Mordred. The tale ends with Arthur's death and his departure to the mystical island of Avalon, where he is set to rest until his return. All these texts form the foundation of the Arthurian legend as we know it today. While the historical basis for the stories of King Arthur remains a topic of debate, these early mentions in historical texts contributed to the enduring popularity and fascination surrounding the Arthurian legend. The time period traditionally associated with King Arthur is the 5th and 6th centuries, also known as the early Middle Ages or the Dark Ages. Following the withdrawal of Roman forces in the early 5th century, Britain experienced a period of political fragmentation and instability. The departure of Roman authority left a power vacuum that was filled by various regional warlords and kingdoms. During this era, Britain was gradually being invaded and settled by various Germanic tribes such as the Angles, Saxons, and the Jutes, who migrated from present-day Germany and Denmark. These tribal migrations resulted in conflicts with the native Britons and led to the formation of multiple Anglo-Saxon kingdoms. It is within this historical point in time that the figure of King Arthur is said to have emerged. According to legend, King Arthur was a British leader who fought against the invading Saxons and attempted to unite the fragmented Britons in resistance. However, the actual existence and details of King Arthur's reign remain subject of debate amongst historians and scholars. The accounts of King Arthur were often embellished and evolved through oral tradition and later writings. The most popular work on Arthur emerged centuries after the supposed Arthurian era. This makes it hard to distinguish facts from fiction in the stories surrounding King Arthur. One sure thing is that the Arthurian legend is shaped by a blend of historical figures, events, and mythology. Several figures from early British history have been associated as potential inspirations for King Arthur and his knights. A few notable candidates include Ambrosius Aurelianus. Ambrosius is depicted as a charismatic and strategic leader who rallied the Britons against the encroaching Anglo-Saxon forces. He is associated with the Battle of Mount Badon, which historian Gildas credits as a major victory against the invaders. This battle, though the specifics are debated, is often linked to the Arthurian legends and has been suggested as a potential inspiration for the Battle of Mount Badon in Arthurian literature. Royal Thamus was another character who theorists suggest may have inspired the Arthurian legends. Royal Thamus was a British military leader who fought against the Visigoths in Gaul during the 6th century. Elements of his story and his battles on the continent may have contributed to Arthurian legends, particularly the notion of Arthur's military campaigns beyond Britain. Arthurian legends also draw upon Celtic mythology and folklore. One of the most prominent influences is the Welsh collection of tales known as the Mabinogion. Within the Mabinogion, you'll find stories like Culch and Owen, which feature characters and themes that have connections to the Arthurian legend. These tales often involve heroic quests, magical objects, and encounters with mystical beings. Another source of inspiration is a Welsh figure called Owen Mab Urien, who was a renowned warrior. He's said to have been a source of inspiration for the character of Sir Owen, also known as Sir Ewain or Sir Gawain in the Arthurian tales. Additionally, there are parallels between Celtic god Lu and the characters of Arthur. Lu was a god of skill, light, and leadership, and some characteristics attributed to him are reflected in Arthur, who is often depicted as a wise and powerful leader. The stories evolved and took on new elements over time through the contributions of many different writers and tradition. The Sword in the Stone. The tale of the Sword in the Stone is a captivating part of the Arthurian legend. It tells the story of a magical sword embedded in an anvil atop a stone, awaiting the one true king who will be able to pull it out and claim the rightful place as the ruler of Britain. The Sword in the Stone represents the idea of divine right and legitimacy. It becomes a symbol of Arthur's destiny and his worthiness to be the High King. In many versions of the story, Arthur as a young boy stumbles upon the sword and effortlessly pulls it out. The act of removing the sword solidifies his claim to the throne and sets him on his path to become the legendary King Arthur. The magical element of the sword underscores the notion that Arthur's ascension to power is not solely based on physical strength or military prowess, but rather on his inherent qualities as a leader. It signals that his rule will be just and guided by his sense of destiny. The Knights of the Round Table. The story of the Knights of the Round Table revolves around King Arthur, a wise and noble ruler of England who seeks to establish a utopian kingdom called Camelot. To promote unity and equality among his knights, Arthur designs a round table where they gather, known as the Round Table. The knights who sit at this legendary table are some of the greatest warriors and exemplars of chivalry in the realm. Each knight possesses unique qualities and virtues. Sir Lancelot, with his unmatched skill in combat, is renowned for his loyalty to King Arthur, but struggles with his forbidden love for Queen Guinevere. Sir Gawain, a valiant and noble knight, upholds the code of chivalry with unwavering courage and righteousness. Sir Galahad, characterized by his purity and unwavering faith, embarks on the quest for the Holy Grail, eventually acquiring it due to his moral integrity. Throughout the adventures, the knights take part in quests, battles, and tournaments, displaying great valor, honor, and loyalty. They encounter various challenges, face treacherous enemies, and overcome personal struggles, all while striving to protect the realm and uphold the values of Camelot. The Lady of the Lake. The mystical figure known as the Lady of the Lake is popular in the Arthurian legend. Legend has it that the Lady of the Lake dwells in a magical realm beneath the depths of a mystical lake. One of the most notable moments involving the Lady of the Lake is when she presents Arthur with the legendary sword Excalibur. According to the tale, it is the lady who emerges from the waters and presents the young Arthur with the sword, signifying his destiny as the rightful High King of Britain. Excalibur itself is a symbol of Arthur's kingship and the source of his power. The lady entrusts him with this magnificent weapon imbued with magical properties and unparalleled strength. It becomes a defining element of Arthur's legend, reflecting his rightful claim to the throne and his role as a just and noble leader. In some versions of the story, the Lady of the Lake also raises Sir Lancelot, one of the greatest knights of the Round Table. She serves as a guiding force, providing him with spiritual guidance and nurturing his exceptional qualities as a knight. The Lady of the Lake character signifies a connection between the mortal world and the realm of magic. Her presence adds an air of mystery, enchantment, and supernatural elements to the Arthurian legend. What about archaeological discoveries? Tintagel Castle in Cornwall, England has been one of the most prominent sites associated with King Arthur. In his Historia Regum Britanniae, Geoffrey of Monmouth wrote that Arthur was born in Cornwall at Tintagel Castle. Although no direct evidence of Arthur's presence has been found, archaeological excavations have uncovered a high-status settlement from the 5th to 7th centuries. Additionally, artifacts such as imported pottery and Mediterranean glass vessels suggest Tintagel's significance as a center of trade and wealth during the Arthurian era. Glastonbury Abbey. Glastonbury Abbey in Somerset, England has long been connected to Arthurian legend. In 1191, monks claimed to have discovered the graves of King Arthur and Queen Guinevere, boosting Glastonbury's association with the legend. However, these claims have been largely dismissed as exaggerations or later fabrications. Cadbury Castle. Located in Somerset, Cadbury Castle has also been linked to the Arthurian legend. It is believed to be the site of the mystical Camelot Arthur's legendary court. While there is no concrete evidence connecting Cadbury Castle to Arthur, its impressive ancient fortifications and historical significance have fueled speculation. The debate surrounding whether King Arthur was a real person or legendary figure continues to intrigue historians and enthusiasts alike. While the existence of historical King Arthur remains elusive, the enduring myth and legacy surrounding the name cannot be denied. By examining the lack of contemporary historical evidence, the late emergence of Arthurian legends, and the presence of mythical elements within the stories, it becomes apparent that King Arthur is likely more of a legendary figure than a tangible historical individual. But to those who lived in those times and heard the story directly, the legendary King Arthur must have been very real to them. The Arthurian legends hold immense cultural and literary significance. These tales of chivalry, heroism, and the quest for a better world have captivated generations, shaping the identity and imaginations of countless individuals. Whether King Arthur was a charismatic leader, a fusion of historical characters, or an entirely fictional creation remains a matter of speculation. Yet, the enduring fascination and the enduring quest for an answer reflects the power of stories to transcend time and inspire us to seek our own heroic journey. So while the historical reality of King Arthur may remain shrouded in mystery, his legend lives on. Thank you for watching to the end of the video. Are there any other historical figures you would like me to create a video on? Leave your thoughts in the comment section. Also, hit the like and subscribe button. Thanks for watching.